I I just listened to some nonsense. Um, well, I just re-listened to. Um, I had listened to it the first time um, several months ago, but this nonsense from FYF debates, um, and he makes the case that Kobe Bryant is the most overrated player in NBA history. And you know, he he trots out all of the typical um, Kobe narratives. That people that hate Kobe or that you know for whatever reason uh, trot out. You know, um, he quit on his team and 2000, with against the Phoenix Suns. He quit on his team against the 2000 against the Pistons, and he's the reason the Lakers lost in 2004. He needed help to get past uh, the Boston Celtics, and he asked for a trade, and Shaq carried him the first three seasons with the first three championships, and blah 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 blah. And the thing is, when I uh, when I listen to criticisms of Kobe, um, you know, these people typically fall into a couple of categories. Um, you have people that essentially hold the Colorado case against Kobe and have basically resented him ever since. There's literally nothing Kobe could have done to regain esteem in their eyes. But then you have the category of people that I think this guy falls into, and these are Shaquille O'Neal fans. Okay, and what these people are upset about is that Kobe Bryant was supposed to be Shaq's uh, Robin to Shaq's Batman. He was supposed to be Shaq's Pippin. He was supposed to fall in line and play second fiddle so that the Lakers can continue to win championships and Shaq could get the glory. See, Shaq is a very gregarious and likable guy. And so you have a lot of people that just loved Shaq. And they really resent Kobe not falling in line and then ultimately upstaging Shaq. And so you you have a lot of people that look for every possible argument to undermine Kobe's career, and so they will make cases that they don't even really wholeheartedly believe in, but just to kind of throw salt on Kobe's legacy, they will do this, and that's why it was difficult for me to do this video because I felt like I was responding to someone that might have been trolling, and what it was I mean he really he what it is he really doesn't believe Kobe is overrated. He just wants to spread that narrative. He just wants to hurt Kobe's legacy because throughout the video he makes points that he doesn't even fully stand on. Um, like for instance, at one point he says that the Lakers beat um, and he says he's referring to the 2010 Celtics. He says the Lakers beat, he says, what many consider to be an aging Celtics team. Well, was it an aging Celtics team or not? What do you believe, bro? Uh, you know, like, uh, you know, what was it an accomplishment to beat a team with four Hall of Famers or not? What do you think? What was KG diminished as a player or not? And he really doesn't want to come out and say, oh well, that Celtics team was trash and they were eight, because now you've got to explain the fact that KG went on to go to 3 All-Star games after that season. You got to explain that. You got to explain the fact that he was all defense the next season. And he was all defense that season. So he says a lot of stuff like this. But I'll tell you what, and I'm gonna address this video directly to FYF Sports, and I hope he hears it. This is what I'm gonna say to you, bro. I'm gonna assume, for the sake of argument, that every allegation you made against Kobe is accurate. Okay? Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that Kobe Bryant, he certainly did ask to be traded, and let's say he was carried during the finals 3 straight years by Shaq. Kobe has underperformed during the finals, and he had a terrible game 7 against the Celtics, and all that's true. Okay, let's assume, for argument's sake, all that's true. Unless you can tell me a third player in NBA history that won 5 titles and were all NBA first or second team for all 5 of those titles, you owe Kobe Bryant an apology. Because I got news for you, sir. I'm talking since the 60s. Of course, Bill Russell did it. Okay? Unless you can find another player in NBA history that won 5 titles and was all NBA for all 5 of those titles. Okay? Unless you can find a third player. Michael Jordan did it. Kobe did it. Unless you can find another player that did that, you owe Kobe Bryant an apology. Because I got news for you, sir. It wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And it wasn't Magic Johnson. And it wasn't Tim Duncan. LeBron, as we all know, does not have five titles. So it wasn't LeBron. Okay? Dennis Rodman has 5 titles, but he wasn't all NBA for any of those titles. Okay? Wasn't Scottie Pippen. We know Steph doesn't have 5. Who else? I mean, who else? Larry Bird only had 3 titles. Name me somebody that's got 5. Name me someone else that has 5 titles and they were all NBA. Because if you were all NBA, that means you were one of the best players in the league. That means in a league of 450 players, you were one of the 10 best. So that means you couldn't have been carried That means you did the carrying. But I really want you to find that for me. Okay? Find me another player. Okay? There's Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And that's it. Because you see, if nothing else, we're not talking about an obscure statistical accomplishment here. We're talking about something all NBA players are attempting to do. Be one of the best players in the league and win the championship. Okay? Well, how could Kobe be overrated if he did what all other players were trying to do? All the people that you have in your top 10 tried to do and didn't do. By the way, he did it with less help. And we can go, you can check my catalog, and I lay that out in a number of videos. So he can't be overrated if he did what all other great players in NBA history were trying to do and didn't do. He can't be overrated. So unless you can furnish that answer for me, find me another player that won 5 championships and was all NBA, all 5 of those championships. There's Michael Jordan and there's Kobe Bryant. Unless you can do that, you owe Kobe an apology. Because if Kobe did something only one other player, the consensus GOAT, did, then you can't say he's overrated. Because he has, that's at the very least a credible argument for him being a top 5 player. By the way, most people consider Kobe to be a top 5 player. So for you to say that he's overrated, you have to be saying that there's a tremendous amount of people that think that he's the GOAT. There isn't. I think he's the GOAT. Okay? But you're saying he's overrated, I guess because you think he's not even top 10. Okay, fine. Go through your list of top 10. Find me somebody that won 5 titles, and they were all NBA 5 times. Because if they didn't do that, okay, if they didn't do that, then that means they were attempting to do something that Kobe did and they failed at it. Okay? So you can't say Kobe was overrated. All right? So, hope to hear from you.